Welcome to Beyond the Blueprint, presented by MP360 Design and Build. I'm your host, Paige Moses, and today I'm joined by Nolyn, Shannon, and Vladimir. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Nolyn, Shannon, and Vlad, they are a part of our team here at MP360 Design and Build, and we have some very fun dynamics. I guess, would you guys call it fun? Fun dynamics going on here.
On certain days it's fun.
I was gonna say, it depends on what day of the week it is. So,
Yeah, that's fun. Do you guys want to explain to everybody the dynamics we have going on?
Well, we are brother and sister, and they are husband and wife. So
Perfect. And we also have, who else do we have downstairs?
Mama Wags.
Yes, we love her too. So quite the family affair over here at MP360 Design and Build. But I think that's honestly what makes you guys really unique. But it's pretty funny because when we do get in some situations, a little banter will happen, and we aren't always
Have you
the
seen
quickest.
that before?
Yes, but we aren't always the quickest to say, "Hey, they're siblings." So, so that comes a little bit after. So we thought we would let you all know what the dynamics were here and how we all work together and collaborate as not only a team but family of some sort. So yes, I'm very excited to have them here today and share a bit with everybody about what MP360 Design and Build does. So let's get into it. Let's start with how you guys started this. So give us kind of the origin
No, I
story.
want you to start.
how we started MP3.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, I just came to Shannon one day and just said, "Hey, do you want to quit your job and go into construction? It'll be awesome." And it took a little doing, but eventually she finally conceded.
Yes, 3 times.
Yeah, 3
There you
times.
go. Yeah,
it was
make
sure,
it
and I was like, no way, it's not gonna happen. We can't do that right now. It's not time of the life for us. But yeah,
She had an
Nolan
amazing
was
job.
persistent.
Yeah, I grew up in the business. I learned how to swing the hammer from our father. So, I had that background, and I just needed a very smart business partner to run kind of the office part of it. She had a great career, and I just said, let's just give this a whirl.
Yeah.
And so you said, sure.
Eventually, I said sure.
Eventually.
So what were you doing
Yes.
before that? What did you really not want to be pulled away from that you had to ask
So
3
I
times?
worked for a company called LifeCell. It's a biologic tissue company for breast reconstruction for cancer patients, so post-mastectomy patients. Great company, great benefits. I worked really hard, but I loved what I did. It was very clinical, so I really felt like I was providing a lot of value. So Nolyn asked, and I said, no, I don't think so. And then he asked again, and then just some dynamics had changed with the company, it got purchased, and I just said, okay, I think it's time. And then my wonderful husband also had established his company, and we thought, okay, it's time to make the leap. So I'm sure that Nolyn has definitely second guessed many times if that was the right decision to keep asking, but he did.
Completely.
Okay, yeah, we love that. Well, why don't you guys explain to everybody also each of your guys' roles within the company now and how those have kind of evolved and what you guys are doing on the day-to-day?
I'm head of operations, and I'm in the field. I make sure all the projects are running as smoothly as possible that you can in construction. So we have a great team, and realistically, I just make sure that clients are kind of happy, so as clients can be during the construction phase.
Yeah.
So.
And then I am head of finance and then everything kind of back end. So I work with our designers, make sure that everything's going smoothly as possible. Also building all of the platforms up and the infrastructure so that we can make sure that we have really good communication with our clients, and then from beginning to end, and all of the different hand-holding procedures that we need to do to take us from bringing on a new client and sales all the way to the end, and handing off that baton to Nolyn and the team that actually makes these dreams come to life. So that's what I do within the organization.
And then me, we actually we can talk about it like Nolyn and Shannon explained a little bit that the company, it's not just remodeling, it's not just new builds, we also own rental properties. So when I joined the company, one of the main roles was the rental side. So I'm still in charge of the rental side, but at the same time, as we were growing, we'll talk a little bit later about that, I'm overseeing the marketing side of the company here. So those are kind of main focuses for me. But at the same time, all three of us are really having our hands in all sides of business, which is very important, and that's why we're able to kind of grow each side, because we do work together every day on those.
It's actually not true at all. So I wake up every morning. I have a wife and a couple daughters at home. They tell me what to do, and then I come to work. And then I have my sister and my mother that tells me what to do. So pretty much,
Sounds like you're in good hands. If
pretty
you
much
ask
all
me.
day long, I've got women telling me what to do in life.
And then
I
he
just wanna,
comes and complains to me about the
100%.
women
That's
telling
literally the
him
only
what to
reason
do.
he is here is just for a sounding board of
sure
somebody
you'd
to
love to
complain
hear
to.
that,
I just want to
Vlad.
let you guys know.
Yeah, but it's more challenging for me because
Because he's married to my sister.
right? So I get to see that experience
like
at
either
home, and then I get to do that the same thing. I don't even know why I did it, but still, I do it at work. So yeah, it's 24/7 for both you and me, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
I feel like I'm getting beat up over here.
No, you.
100%
You're
we're
doing
gonna beat her up
great.
all
They
the way.
love
Thank
you.
you.
What are you
We
talking
don't
about?
get
All
the
I'm hearing is
opportunity.
pure love
All
towards your
love.
direction.
We don't get the opportunity to do this
Sure.
on air,
Sure.
film. So you said I
taking
get
full
to,
advantage
yeah.
of it.
So
I can tell. I love it. I love it.
So let's get into talking about, you mentioned it, Vlad, about the rental side. Let's kind of go over what MP360 does, all encompassing, not only just the design and build side, and maybe share a little bit where that name came from.
Shannon, we would love for you to talk.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
want
your
you to
turn.
feel
Yeah, your
neglected
turn.
here, you know. So
Thank you. So MP360, whenever we started this company, the rental side is actually second generation. So my parents started the company when we were kids. And then when we started the design and build side, we decided, okay, what do we want this to be called? And then we thought that there was no better name than something with 360, because it encompassed all 360 sides of real estate, whether you're buying, selling, remodeling, renting. So we thought that was really great. But the first part, we had no idea. So Nolyn and I, full transparency, were just having some drinks and said, what sounds cool?
Millennium sounded super powerful. So I'm like, we're going all in.
Right.
Millennium was like, this is strong. So we just like chose that. And then properties, because obviously we're remodeling or renting or doing something with real estate properties.
So the original name was Millennium Properties 360.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
we
And
realized
it was extremely long.
Yes.
And the logo used to be extremely long. So anytime I had to figure out something to help him with, designing T-shirts or even setting up emails, it was like, okay, we gotta do something different.
You got to make sure your spell check's on
Yeah,
too.
that too.
Honestly,
Well-
it's like having the Icelandic kid that's on your soccer team that their name starts on this shoulder and then it goes all the way over to this
You're
shoulder.
talking about your kid like that.
Yes, I am. So it's like
Yeah.
they got the longest name in the world. We realized, wow, this was a mistake.
I mean, I think before we had, at mp-360.com, it was Millennium Properties 360 at gmail.com when we still had like Gmail. And then I realized
creative.
nobody can spell Millennium.
Yeah, nobody can spell millennium at all.
Two
so-
L's, two N's, they got it messed up.
Missing lots of emails.
So we're
there.
like, let's
Yes.
just shorten that up. And it became MP360.
Well, I love it. It's perfect. And
Yeah.
I think it works exactly for what you guys are doing. I love the idea of it, but I totally understand because I've messed it up as well. So
Since your
I'm
email-
here for the new. I'm here for the MP360.
for the new MP.
Yes, I love that. I want to go back to what you were talking about of how you've grown up swinging hammers. Give us a little bit background of how you even got into building homes.
You don't have to swing it. Just tell us.
Just
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So basically, after college, I had zero job prospects, and this is all true.
Let us build you a home.
Zero
Trust
job-
us.
Yeah.
This is great.
Off to a great
Trust us.
start.
Off to a great start.
If you want to know one thing about us is we are transparent about anything. Just ask us. We'll just tell you how it is. So sitting on my parents' couch, and I had one of those dads that were like, "Yeah, you're not doing this. You're coming to work with me." And so I just went to work, and he was always raised in construction, and I just started sanding drywall, hanging drywall, framing, those kind of things. And so just from being around it for many years, I've like, I'm pretty decent at this. So kind of take a liking to it. And luckily, since we had our rental properties, that's where I learned to build. So our folks just had some vacant land. They're like, yeah, build us like a simple house. So we still own it to this day, actually.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
still in the first place I ever built. It probably will never fell down. Didn't know what I was doing. Put a gazillion 2x4s in there. So that's kind of how I cut my teeth.
Yeah, got it. Well, let's talk about also how it evolved, because you guys are obviously super unique because of your family dynamic, but also we have lots of European influences in this family.
Yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
I'll connect with like a rental side that Nolyn is, talking about in his first house, but there's also cooler rental property in Kirksville that he designed and created. It's a Fillmore property, right?
Yeah.
That it's based on what he saw in Iceland. And why Iceland? Well, our family is so, in my opinion, cool, unique. I'm from Serbia originally. Nolyn's wife is from Iceland. Both Austis and I actually played soccer. That's how we came to United States to study. But then they have a sister, Jamie. Her husband, Herman, is born in Barcelona, Spain. So what are the odds that a family out of Kirksville, Missouri, middle of Midwest?
I thought you were going to say nowhere.
No,
That was nice of you.
no,
You elevated us.
Yes, I give you guys. That's more Plainville area, Kansas. But no, family like that to be so open and marry somebody that's literally from a different continent, all different cultures, and definitely even your guys' parents always very accepting, okay, from the beginning. Even though I have to say my first experience with construction was in Kirksville, Missouri, summer. I went with Shannon. I don't know, it was a couple of weeks. And I don't know if they were trying to get rid of me or something, but they were like, hey, why don't you go and take off the shingles of this roof, right, in July. So I worked in July. So yeah, no one will tell you more about construction and being on the roofs in July, summer, right, how hot that is. But yeah, that was my first experience with construction in the United States. But clearly I liked something, so I stayed. But no, amazing part again. Everybody, we brought different cultures here, and that's, I think, what's keeping us all together and all the new crazy cool ideas. But one of the things that Nolyn came up is he was visiting his wife's family in Iceland, and he saw a couple of buildings, thought it was really, really unique, and then he came, designed it, came up with it, and now we have literally a little piece of Iceland in Kirksville, Missouri, with such a beautiful building, in my opinion. Well, colorful, and we have tenants there for how long now? I would say it's
longer than we thought.
It's like 2008, I think.
2008, yeah.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
was
like
2008.
a little bit over 15
it's
years,
longer than we thought,
17
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So
Wow. I
yeah.
love that. So let's talk about how you guys kind of got into transitioning from that rental side to more of these custom homes in this caliber that we're now producing at. And what do you think was that pivotal moment that kind of switched from being a remodel and flipping houses to really building at this caliber that you guys are now?
Well, one thing I'm going to kind of pivot on what Nolyn was saying earlier is I think that he's kind of downplaying the training that he got from our dad.
I feel like he is too.
He did, Dad did things old school, which is wonderful. Like he got a planer out. Everything was by hand. It was handcrafted. And so that's how he taught Nolyn. And I think Nolyn really, and you can speak for yourself, but I think that you really grew an appreciation for all of that craft that he put into everything. It takes patience. It takes skill. It's something different than just throwing something, on a wall and then leaving. And so that's something that Nolyn's been just so precise on in teaching all the guys that work with us today. No, it's
don't
true.
give him too much credit.
I know, I
He's
don't.
gonna
I
be
typically
full of
every day I'm
himself.
tearing him down, so I
Won't be
gotta
able to
build him
hear
up
anything.
a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
But and then we found these awesome guys in Kansas City that we've continued to work with for, I think we're going on 9 years. And they love that craft too. Like it was just this, everybody wants to get better. and none of us wanted to settle for mediocre. So we were flipping houses, like you said. That was when I finally
get our name out. We had to get our name out there, you know, to show people.
Nobody's going to trust us. They hadn't heard of us.
Yeah, they're like, So we started flipping out, and the problem is I made things too nice, and so she had to make sure that we could sell them after we got done. So
not that people don't want to buy too nice, just Nolyn would never look at the budgets. And I had to look at the budget, and I'm like, well, I mean, I know that's going to be really beautiful, but can we sell that for over appraised value? Which is a little bit of a challenge. Yeah. But we kept doing it, and our name started getting out there. People saw our things and just said, hey, can you do a remodel? Can you remodel this? And then our amazing sister believed in us, and that was our first luxury model in Kansas City. Nolyn had done some in Kerrsville, but not in kind of the metro area.
And what was that project that was your first one with her?
It was really, well, it was a kitchen primarily, but it was really a full first floor. So
luxury kitchen, obviously we do those. And so that was our first, luxury kitchen. And it just skyrocketed from there with the cabinet lines that we, have introduced or imported, just because we keep pushing ourselves to different levels on, what we want to provide for clients.
It was just really nice, though, because that gave us the opportunity. She had friends come over, and then they wanted to remodel, and then their friend wanted to remodel. And so that's really how
I don't know if they wanted it. She would chase them down the hallway.
That's true.
So true story. So even though she's not here, our oldest sister's pretty awesome. She really supports us so much. She works at KU Med Center here, and she will run down the hallways in high heels.
In stilettos, because she's a classy gal.
She just runs and is like, if she hears anybody like a remodel, and it echoes, and she just like, oh, I heard, she's like crazy. But she does support us that way. So I think it's pretty funny that she will actually do that, and people will say, yeah, your sister tackled us, so we could. That's the only reason we gave you the job. So
saving lives and tackling on the way.
Yeah,
taking people out along the way. I love that.
Right.
So going back to what you were talking about of how when you flipped, you were always drawn to having the really nice, beautiful items. Let's kind of explain to people what we do a little bit differently than other people in the area and where those influences come from. As you guys said, you have a lot of European family members, and how those influences have come from when you guys have traveled overseas and what you've decided and seen to bring back and apply in your work here today.
Well, first off, who doesn't love nice things? Like shiny, I could be like a little fish because everything is shiny, I'm like drawn to. So I think that does help with, some people have that, some people don't, but we've always been kind of drawn to bettering ourselves. But like you said, traveling overseas, we have a cabinet line that we import from Barcelona. It's fantastic. We have also searched, we've got some other places in Kansas City that we produce cabinetry. It's all fully custom. They are probably of the highest stature that you will find in the Kansas City area. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's one of the big things for us is that we've never wanted to just settle for how everybody else is doing something. So, whenever we take a trip, we're always looking at architecture and real estate and talking to engineers and all over the world. So that's always been super important to us. And then we wanted to bring that back to the Midwest. I think that's always been very important to say, what do we not have here in Kansas City that we want to offer? Because we've seen it throughout other places in the world, and just because we're in the Midwest, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have access to it. And that's where this beautiful line that you might see behind us, this is called Doca. Like Nolyn said, we import that from Barcelona, Spain, actually Vinaros. It's just a little bit south of Barcelona. Nolyn wanted something that was high-end, quality, just absolutely stunning, that you can't and couldn't find in the Kansas City area. So he was searching and searching and searching for years. And so when we found Doca, we were like, we got to have it. We absolutely love it. And then some of the other lines that Nolyn's talking about, one comes from Pennsylvania. And we carry Rut and crystal as well. And those are all custom cabinetry, but they're all factory finish. And that's something very different in the Midwest. You see it on both the coasts, but here in Kansas City, you see a lot of build in place, spray in place, and we were just not really satisfied with the quality.
Can you explain to people who may not know about the difference between a manufactured cabinet or even what a spray in place cabinet is, could you explain the difference between those two?
You want to jump in?
And why
Sure,
we are drawn to one more than the other?
When you were like searching, I literally in my mind I'm picturing like Indiana Jones, and I'm like this satchel, and I'm out looking.
That's how it feels.
It's exactly
Yeah.
how it feels every day.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you
It
know
was it was similar to that how we actually found Doka people, right? So no, I'm kidding. It was the funniest story. We were.
Wait, he's got to go. You got to talk
No,
about
no,
the cabinetry.
who cares? Just
Okay.
tell your story.
Let him
Okay,
tell
it
his
is
story.
better. It is better.
See-
I didn't want to
see this?
avoid your
See
question.
this? Do I have to deal
This
with
is
it?
it.
Like, oh,
Don't worry.
This is
okay
it.
if I
This is the
say-
banter.
No, but I had to add because it's so funny, and again, it's like totally us. We were in Orlando for a kitchen show. We started talking to people out of Doka, connect immediately, love their stuff. But the funniest thing was that evening we decided like, hey, we want to go for dinner, and we went to Mediterranean restaurant. Didn't expect anything. We just hungry. We heard some music, belly dancers, whatever. But we showed up, had a table, and then 2 tables below, this group of people were like crazy loud dancing. We look, and it's Doka people. And literally we started cheering in Spanish, in
But
English.
we saw each other while we were standing on the table.
I forgot to mention
mean,
that.
that's
Yeah,
the
we
reality
we
of
were
what
dancing,
happened.
they were dancing,
know
and
they
then
mean
it was
we.
like Shannon and Alex. They like they're like Doka, Doka. So there was like a true connection with us and Doka cabinetry. Yes, Shannon and I went to Spain before we actually signed the deal with them. Went to Spain, went to see the factory, talked to the owners, made sure that that's actually really what we're looking for, and we felt even just talking to them, it's extended family. And we feel very, very close with everyone there. And I know it's in Europe, but it's like a phone call away. Even for our clients, anytime there's something needed, we're able to fix things, figure out, ship immediately. If it's air, if it's by ship, that doesn't matter. But we love that we're associated with Doka, and I think they like us too. So yeah, it was a fun story.
I think they do too. So speaking of Doka and the beautiful kitchen that we're sitting in front of, tell us a little bit about this display and where we are at today.
Why do you always look at me?
I don't know.
You're always passing
You
the
always
question off.
yeah, I do pass the question
This
off.
is always how it's been.
Even though he wants to talk the most.
That
Always.
started in college. Remember?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
You should. You know what? We're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I
say
feel
it.
like you want to tell this story.
Well,
like
no,
everybody,
like,
when they don't
that's
have an
how-
answer, they're like, look at Shannon.
That's kind of how when I noticed Shannon the first time. We had a class. It was a business.
It's our capstone class, yeah.
Class, and so she was doing a presentation with 2 girls. So she was up, talking. All 3 of them were talking. So it was a time to ask questions. So literally anybody asking a question, those 2 other girls would like. And like, turn towards
That's why I
Shannon.
wear a suit jacket. Makes me look smart.
Smarty
But
pants
literally, it
over here.
happened
you
like
go.
5 times. I was like, "Oh, there's got to be something interesting about
And then
this
he's
girl."
like, this is who I want to marry.
Yeah, that-
he's like, no,
I just, I
not
just
that
saw,
not that
I just
interesting.
saw green card.
No, that's
yeah,
the
not
truth.
that interesting at all. So.
Is that how it worked with all of your guys' spouses?
Totally, just green cards all over.
That is that's the first time I've heard you say a joke
Our
like
Euro
that.
pal-
I've never
we call them
met.
our Euro trash spouses, and then they always like revert to that. They're like, "Oh, green card."
Green card.
That's all we're here for. So, we're sitting in our showroom here in Olathe. I would love for people to come take a look. It's a
Yes.
beautiful showroom. But you were focusing on like the cabinetry and wanted to know some of the differences. Kansas City being a Midwest market, a lot of times like some of the trends and stuff take a little bit longer, as we all know, to get to the Midwest. And I think a lot of people here, not wrong, but it is, in my opinion, becoming a lot more antiquated, is that they build a cabinet, they bring it into the home unfinished, and then they spray it in place or stain it in place. The painter of the house is generally the one that's trying to make that color match for them. So a lot of our stuff, it's fully custom down to a 1/16 of an inch, or with our metric, down to a millimeter. Everything is fully custom, but it's all finished in the factory in a controlled setting. It's really the difference between a guy working on a car in his garage, or like having something done on the factory line. So the nice thing about that is that your paint colors, your stains, they're all precise. They're kiln dried. Excuse me, the wood is kiln dried, and then like the paint, it's all baked on in in again controlled environments. So it makes for a superior finish, superior product. It's going to wear longer in your home. So again, when we're out there looking for products, we are trying to find and seek out some of the best products, and that's why we have landed on some of the lines of cabinetry that we supply here at MP360.
And really the customizability of all of the lines. So, I mean,
What are all the lines that we carry
so
here?
we carry Rhett, we carry Crystal, and we also carry Doka. Two of those are American-made products, and then one is from Spain. But, I mean, it's down to, do you want handleless? What color do you want the inside of where your handle is to be? Do you want this to be leather or glass? What color of glass? Do you want it to be metal, wood? What wood species? Do you want to use eucalyptus or, rift cut white oak? There's just so many options, and we want people to have those options.
I don't think a lot of people understand like what you can do in your home. I know a lot of people, they generally start out with like a Pinterest board or finding something on Instagram, but it actually can go so many layers deeper than that. And so we really try to provide that knowledge to the clients, when they walk in through the doors. So.
I definitely agree. I think that's so important. I think that's one of our main goals here too, is also to educate those who may be thinking about going through that process or already are going through that process. But if you're not a part of the industry, it's really hard to fully understand that process until you're actually going through it. And sometimes it becomes a little too late to pivot to different decisions once you're already in it and working with a builder. So you guys really love the manufactured cabinetry. Was there a time that you were used to doing spray in place, or has manufactured always been your go-to? Or was there a moment where you were like, okay, we really need to switch to be doing this full time?
I think it really starts with me. I've always been a believer in it. And when we actually moved to the Midwest, we have tried going the other direction, kind of do what everybody else is doing, and
Which is spraying in place and building.
yeah. And it's just not for me. It's just not what I believe in. It's not the quality that I feel like that a client should have in their home. I feel like the processes take longer. This is a huge argumentable point among many builders within the industry. And so, but again, like Vladimir had mentioned before, we do things differently. And so I'm going to stick by what I believe is different, and I am trying to provide the best quality to our clients with that. So I firmly believe it. And I mean, you can look around here and beautiful products, and we put them in your home. You will definitely notice the difference.
And it really stands the test of time too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, many times if you have some cabinetry that's sprayed in place, especially if it's like in a kitchen, you can bump it, bruise it. You're just going to see in a few years, there's wear marks, like where there's, areas that you're working a lot or prepping. You're not going to see that with these cabinets. They just stand the test of time, and the precision is just at a higher level. So the reveal,
they stand the test of time?
They stand the test of time.
Just check it.
So
we have our own products in our own home, and I don't know. I'm sorry I interrupted you. If you have ever been to a Serbian event, which Shannon does a great job hosting at her home, many events we did her
because people often go to Serbian events.
Yeah, so
in Kansas.
I was trying to figure out where's he going with
He's
the
like, so if you've ever been to one of these,
Well, I was
He
like,
thinks that because I'm also Serbian as well.
Yeah,
Vladimir and I used to go to the same church.
That's
Vlad
true.
he's like, I'm about to be offended, but so lots of food, lots of drink. It's a great time, but lots of people, and like most settings, they're in the kitchen area, and you have used and abused your kitchen. And you've been there. It still looks as great as it did as the day that we put it in.
I thought when I arrived at your guys' home that you had freshly finished that project. I didn't find out until
It's like 5
this
years
week.
ago. Yeah.
No, this week or last week that he said it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow,
Yeah.
So yeah, that really truly is standing the test of time.
Yeah.
Stands the test of time.
Yeah, right. So, so I mean, and that's just one. I mean, we're talking a lot about cabinetry just because I feel like, when we build a home, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got 4 walls and a ceiling. So, what are we going to put in there? But, I think that same passion goes into, the love that we put into a home. And I know you say that, but it is blood, sweat, and tears. It's like we really love what we do, and we want to provide that for clients, from the ground up, or if it is remodel, whatever it is that we do for the client, we're trying to give it our all. We're humans. We're going to make mistakes, but we continue to try to educate ourselves and do better every day. So.
And we just said we have some very creative people. Obviously, Nolyn and Shannon are super creative, but we have Amy, Heidi, and you guys can talk more about them. They're amazing designers. So every time I see them talking to the clients and them explaining, because when you come in and you wanted to build a home or remodel, first time doing it, you don't have ideas. Well, how is this opening? What do I really want? But that's where our designers are really trying to help people. Hey, tell me how you live. What do you use? How do you use this kitchen? What do you do in the morning? What do you do weekends? And then they help them figure out all the pieces, how to put, and then obviously through the process that Shannon can talk a little more, put it together. And now people can really visualize and realize, oh, yes, I didn't know, but this is actually what I really want in my house, right? So, and that's kind of how I even felt when Shannon was doing our kitchen. I was like, whatever, just I want to be looking cool, different.
You just want to be fed.
Yeah, I just want to be different. I did ask, I was like, I just want 2 refrigerators, that's all. I don't care. But no, the key is really that we have some very talented people here that can guide clients and help them make the right choices for their own environment.
Definitely. And I think you guys kind of touched on it as well, but your passion, and that comes from really wanting to give your guys' clients the best, and what their money is going to go towards something that's really going to last forever. And that's because you guys truly care about your clients. This isn't a large scale production. We really are selective and a smaller scale team, but we're a very close-knit team. And I think that makes all the difference. So can you guys speak to a little bit more about how important those personal relationships are to you? And this isn't just a business. This isn't just a job.
No, absolutely. Well, first of all, I think we're super amazingly blessed because it's not just our team, but an extension of our team is independent designers that work with us. We've got so many awesome designers in Kansas City that we collaborate with, that we're always pushing each other's boundaries to say, how do we do more? How do we make this function better? How do we make this more beautiful? What products are out there? What do I not know about? So collaboration is huge. It's nothing that any one person can do. There are literally hundreds of decisions, thousands of products that go into each and every, build of a new house or a remodel, because every single thing that we do is unique. It's never reproduced. We don't do production. We are not doing semi-custom. So it's really this kind of beautiful thing that takes place. You can call it art, honestly, because every single project that we do is new, it's innovative, it's one of a kind, and it forms and functions for that family or for that individual. So, and we also are very selective in all of the contractors and subcontractors that we work with. And I feel like no one can really, spearhead that, but our superintendent, Brett and Nolyn, are very picky, in particular in who we work with their quality of work, with how they treat our clients, with the interactions that they have with our team. We never want it to feel like a competitive environment. It's always very important for us for it to feel like we're doing this because we all have the best interest in mind, and we all want the best for our client, and we want a beautiful product that functions well at the end. So every person that steps in to that home has to have that mentality. And so I feel like that's something that we've really been steadfast on, and I think why we've grown so quickly, to be honest, because people want that. They want to feel taken care of.
Absolutely, 100%. And building a home or doing a remodel or something of that caliber is a large investment, and people want to know and feel like they're in good hands, especially with something like that. So why don't we speak to a little bit about the process? Say somebody's coming in and they're like, we want to build a home, and we came across your guys' name and we just want to start that process. What would that look like?
See, did you see that? And turn to Shannon.
I was actually going to say,
And the turn.
It's lucky for me, no, because I'm looking at all three of you guys. No, I don't have to do it.
when they first walk in the door, or they set up their first consultation, they always get Shannon and I. And as you know, it is always fun. We want to have fun in the process because you had your friend
on a
in.
good day.
On a good day. You had your friend in, and she was amazing. Thinking about building a home, and you just get the real me, which I'm gonna be joking the whole time.
Dad jokes.
100% dad jokes. Since I became a dad, they just like, honestly, it's like diarrhea of the mouth. I'm just like dad jokes all the time, all day.
You know what's the problem, Nolyn? It's not even that you have dad jokes.
It's-
you trained your
trained-
older daughter
It's amazing. I
with
love
dad
it. Yeah.
jokes, which is hilarious. She sends us videos
Older
of
daughter
dad
of 7 years
jokes, and I'm
old,
like,
so,
oh my God.
yeah.
So she just brought a book home from school, and it is like 100 and some odd like knock jokes. They are hilarious.
She's
Started
awesome.
reading literally this morning. I kid you not, this morning, and I'm just like I'm ready for the day. She got me all pumped up. So I'm sorry I haven't thrown
what a
you out
morning
there.
routine.
Yeah, it's just like dad jokes, 100%. So which is a lot of fun. So but. Where was I going with
So
that?
I don't know. I don't really ever know where you're going with the conversation, but we always finish it together.
Yeah.
So no.
Oh, the process.
The process.
The process. Yes, they
Like,
actually
so-
get us when they
go.
when they come in the door, or we beat them at their house. Cheers. And so when we meet with the clients, we want to listen to what their wants and needs are, and sometimes they have zero direction whatsoever. They're like, I just want something beautiful. I mean, it's honestly started as like
The only direction is I want something beautiful yesterday.
Yeah.
that is always
Yesterday. True.
Love clients, they always do want
True.
it yesterday. I'm like, this is like a process.
So how long would that, if somebody was wanting to build a fully custom home, how long would that process take?
Typically, let's say you have a fast decision maker,
Okay.
because
Which everybody says they are.
says that they are, and nobody is.
Until they're planning their future
And
forever.
that's right, exactly. And then it's like, oh my gosh, every decision's so important. Went to finding land, I would say, and then all the way through what we call pre-construction. So designing, working with the architect, getting engineering, getting your house ready, bidding everything out, takes about a year. And then depending on the size and scale of your home, it could be 1 year, or if you have a really large home, it could be anywhere from 18 to 24 months. So all of those things really come into play. But I mean, as far as the process goes, that we were kind of sort of hit upon is it's really important to have a team that can help you through every step of the process. It's not like, hey, we do this section or we do this section. I think that's something we really take pride in.
Right.
It is, if somebody wants, some land, we can help you find that. If you find that independently, great. But if you need us to help you, we absolutely can do that. We'll help you design the space. We'll help you make sure that it's functional. We line you up with all of the right people to make this dream come to life. And I think that that's really important because it's such a big process and undertaking that if you don't have someone that knows all of the steps, it can feel overwhelming. And even when you're in it and you have all the right people kind of hand holding you through it, there's still a lot of decisions. So to just be with a team of people that you're like, they're going to take care of me, and I know they're leading me down the right path, I think it just gives people a sense of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I think you guys kind of touched on it earlier, but that whole piece of transparency goes super far with people, and you guys set a standard of making sure that that is addressed right away, and you're always transparent with the client and making sure that you're on the same page from the beginning. So I also want to put in perspective, we don't only just do custom built homes. What about if somebody came to you and they're like, I really love this designer and I want to work with them, but we need some help. How can we fit in with them without just being their sole builder? Is there things that we can do and help fit in the project?
So
I did not mean to do. I like just like when I did it, I literally like tried to stop myself.
Going out for the rest of the show.
Like
No, I mean, the reality is we work with a lot of independent designers, and there's a lot of times that they come to us. So again, I think it's that collaboration piece. They might have conceptual, but we bring conceptual to technical. So a lot of designers are.
did you practice that?
No, it's just
Really?
like so natural.
That conceptual to
passionate.
technical. She's
So
like, I guess
passionate.
conceptual to technical.
But no, it's true. I mean, so
is
many people
true.
have a great eye, but how do you make that come to fruition? Like, what is the engineering that needs to go behind it? Or where are all the resources? How do we really make this happen? And so they'll collaborate with us and say, hey, these are the colors. This is the design idea. Here's the sketch. And we then take it a step further with our in-house team to engineer it, to put it into 3D, to put it, into photorealistic images that people can actually visualize what they're going to get. And I mean,
one
that's
thing-
how we really collaborate with a
One
lot
thing
of.
about us too, like at the end of the day, we kind of we're not stuck with. I guess it depends on the client, but are stuck with, or we're with them not only throughout the process, but when it's finished. If there's something wrong, they're going to be calling us. It's not just that one snapshot. Okay, this turned out like my Instagram that I found out. That's great. We have to make sure that they're living with this for the next, 20, plus years,
Yeah.
or whatever. So we want to make sure that it's right, when we're finished. And
Absolutely.
So it takes, quite a bit of time to actually get to that point where they're like, okay, we're super happy. We walk away. We have great clients that we stay in touch with. We've gone back and still we've done follow-up projects with them.
A lot of follow-up projects.
And some of them that we just stay in contact with because they're fantastic people. So
Absolutely.
But I mean, back to your point, something that's really cool, I think, about what we do. I mean, we potentially have some projects actually outside of Kansas City. So we don't just do the design build process here. We can design for anyone in the country, which is really, really cool. And we can ship all of our cabinets to anywhere in the country. So sometimes people think, okay, that's a limiting factor. Where do I get this product? Somewhere else, but I want to work with your team. We may not be able to be a GC in different areas, but we certainly can design a space, help provide some of those things, work with, again, independent designers that want to use our products, and we can ship those anywhere in the country. So that's kind of cool too.
Super cool. You had mentioned it when you were answering about how a lot of these people, when they are building these homes, it's something that they are seeing themselves in the home for a good amount of time after they're completed with this project. And something super important, I know, to our in-house designers is aging in place. So could we speak a little bit to how we are cognizant of those decisions when we're taking them through that design process, and how amazing?
I think it's just because I'm sitting here.
I was gonna say.
I think it's just because I'm sitting here.
I was gonna feel like we love old people. They do. We do talk a lot about aging in place and how is not the house, how is it going to suit you today, but how is it going to suit you in the future. A lot of people are definitely going to a lot of zero entry. What kind of tile on the floor for make sure that it doesn't just look beautiful, but it's slip resistant. If you will, for people, make sure we got wide enough doorways for people that are walkers or might be in a wheelchair or something, or how can we modify the home in the future. So so the girls do take a lot of care to make sure that we bring up those points for people that if we are doing a remodel or a new build, that we're thinking about all those factors.
And it's really nice because we are in an era where there's a ton of social media that's good and bad, but in this case, I'm going to bring out, the positive, that we have access to so many products, so many ideas. So whenever we're designing a space that it might be for that person that's aging in place, the design doesn't have to be like, oh, we put up a grab bar and it's just ugly grab bar and this beautiful space. It will look intentional. There's just a lot of different products that have never been out there before that we have access to. So every design element looks like, oh, it was just designed like that. But then you realize, because of the thought that went into it, that it's practical as well, and that things were placed in strategic areas so that it's truly can be something that is highly functional and highly beautiful, but it doesn't look like it was designed for a person who's 70 or who's 80. And I think that that's really neat.
So about functionality, that's a huge buzzword for us and our team is we're all about making sure everything is functional and functional for their style of living. So when you're working with a client, how do you really understand what their needs are to make sure that their space is just as functional, but also looks completely seamless and sleek?
I think I'm gonna just. I know it sounds.
He's gonna
weird.
actually just answer the question.
I'm actually just
this
gonna
time.
answer the question. Let's take the cabinetry for example. I think that's always an area that people want their kitchen to be functional. Okay, so whether we're working with an outside designer, they come in and they say, hey, we want the kitchen to look like whatever they've drawn up or whatever. So from there, we sit down with the client, their designer, or our in-house designers, however, which way that goes. But then when we're drawing up the cabinetry and making sure before we go to engineering, we ask all the questions like, how do you cook? What appliances do you have? We go so deep into, how do they want that kitchen to function? Because everybody might cook, they might live in their space completely differently. They might have a family of 5, they might have a family of 2, whatever that might be. And they ask all those questions. So at the end of the day, they can kind of put that into the proverbial cabinet blender, and like spit out like what they think that, hey, you need to have this here or rollouts here, or again, it's very popular with, again, we go back to the aging in place, a lot more drawers. So you don't have all this bending over and trying to look into the back of the cabinetry or something like that. That's just one room in the house. Obviously go from there. It goes into, the master suite, and how they're going to function in those areas as well. And how does your family live in the home? So all those questions, we take into account, so we can provide them with the best design, possible.
And with that, I think there's a lot of education and experience that goes with it as well. So everybody that's working with our team are all very educated in their specialty areas. Just like any other area, medical, car industry, there's studies done in this industry as well. How do we get better? What are the trends? What is a great distance from your sink to your cooktop? How high should that be based on what your height is? So everybody that's working here is very vested in that. And so those are things and considerations that they take into account. We are part of the National Kitchen and Bath Association. So we take all of those measurements and we keep all of those items in mind so that we are providing high functionality that works in every space.
Have you seen people's needs in our market, particularly in Kansas City, evolve in any sort of way surrounding people's perspective and thoughts about cabinetry?
I think it's changed. Like what she said, we're in the information age. A lot of people are on, Instagram, or they're on Pinterest or whatever. And so I do think that people are gathering more information, whether it's good or bad. So I do think that people come in thinking that they might be more educated when they do walk in the door, and sometimes we have to steer them in the right direction. So I do think though that things have changed from the way we've built in the past, for sure, 100%. And obviously we went through the COVID era, so like we've all been we're living in our homes differently, we're living in our homes more, we're entertaining in our homes more than ever. So I do think that we look at our homes, we look at our spaces completely different than we ever did before.
So let's talk about MP360's future. What are we most excited about?
I got this.
Oh!
I got this.
Finally, it has happened to me.
Okay, it better be good though,
right.
So.
Kansas City is amazing right now. Obviously, wow. Edit that out. So we have a lot of amazing things happening in Kansas City. Soccer's coming here very shortly. But for MP360, I lost it.
I think
I'm sorry.
somebody
Can
might
I
be
start
feeling
over?
his coffee a little too much.
Can I start over? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just like now?
Wow.
Just jump back in.
Okay, I'm gonna just re-ask.
Just a second, I gotta stop crying.
I think we may leave it in. I'm just kidding.
This is gonna be a good one.
Okay.
Soccer's coming.
Soccer's coming to Kansas. If you guys didn't hear, we're getting soccer here in Kansas. Super cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a second.
I'm sorry.
I
don't know where I'm going with that.
Going now. You're going like this
You
too.
just snorted.
You're like, we're gonna. Next
Just like-
city's really cool. We have soccer coming.
Yeah,
I
but
couldn't
for MP360, soccer is coming in, so it will be awesome.
MP360.
Oh my gosh.
I could not get that thing turned around.
Let's try that again. Woo.
Except now I'm like,
Okay.
Oh,
Hello.
okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right, go
Try that again. Okay.
Clean your.
I know, I've got.
Oh, that was awesome.
Now that you've brought your sister to tears.
I know. I couldn't get that turned around at all. So, goodness.
Okay, let's go back. MP360 Design and Build. We have lots of fun things coming up. What is most exciting to you about MP360 Design and Build's future?
So, one of the most exciting things, we have a beautiful home that we are designing right now in hopes to get that on the Artisan Tour. So, if you don't know what the Artisan Tour is, it's amazing builders here in the Kansas City area. I'm slipping up. It's the end of the show. Some great builders that get to showcase their work. And we've been invited, and we really hope that this home that we've designed for a phenomenal client, that we get that on the tour. So I think that for us, that's I think
It's on the horizon.
It's on the
Yeah,
horizon.
we're really-
Everybody's working really hard at it.
Yep,
so,
to make it come to fruition.
Yeah.
Are we going to have some really cool, unique things that maybe we haven't seen in the Kansas City market before? Or what's a little sneak peek?
Well,
we'll
Give,
get?
give him a little bit about the
give him a
pool
little bit,
idea,
something really
something.
cool.
I can't.
I can't
no.
give now we can't give anything away. I think there's some pretty cool
No.
stuff.
But yes.
Yes.
But no, we won't tell you. But yes,
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotta
maybe
come
not
on.
for that specific home. How about what is your absolute favorite design trend right now that you are seeing more of? Or maybe something unique that you would like to see more of? I think you guys have really
Does it
good
differ for all of
unique
us?
taste. Yeah, everybody go.
You know
I
what?
want to hear
You haven't
everyone's
talked very much.
answer.
Flo. What's your...
No, I mean, design. We always talk about things that we are
sound so
bringing from
excited.
Europe. No, it's like things that we bring from Europe. I'm always the one that I'm questioning Nolyn and Shannon. So it's always funny when they're like coming up with some ideas like, why that? But I really let design part, not let, I really want them because they're super creative. I'm not the creative on the design side. I'm behind the scenes. I'm on the marketing side. I'm on our, building our brand together with you. So I always like to hear their vision. And obviously, both Shannon and Nolyn, I think I mentioned this a little bit ago, they're, one of the biggest qualities they have, they, believe it or not, listen to clients. She doesn't listen to when I speak at home, but she listens to clients. I don't know why is that? Yeah, why is that working? But, they definitely want to hear out what the client wants and then bring that to life. And I think to me, that's the coolest part of what we're doing. And again, going back to what Nolyn was talking about, excitement about what's next, it's building those unique homes. It's not about us to harm, numbers of houses. It's really going to be uniqueness of each home that we're building. It's not that we're going to have, 4 different samples. So here you go, come pick what you want. Really, every home is specific to a client that wants to build with us. And I think that's what's special about MP360, that they know when they come here, it's going to be very special and just built for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think some of the really cool trends is using products in different ways. So
Give us an example.
Well, just layering products. So what I mean by that is like, okay, you've got a wood element, something that's a natural stain, and then you've got your glass, but it's not just a glass. It has an amber colored tint with a beveled edge, and then you're using metal and leather and all of those layering effects, and not just, fabricating stone with a standard edge, but what is the detail? Are you using inlays? Are you using, a fluted front for like a powder bath? How are you integrating that with your lighting? Integrated lighting is huge and something that I get really excited about because I think it's going to be awesome in some of our next and upcoming projects is integrated lighting in the primary suite. So a lot of times we've seen, just trim carpentry, but now we can use different materials and just use glass and again the leather and bring as much love and care into your primary closet so that you just love that space as much as you do into a kitchen, and just have it be it's a treat to you. I mean, you're there so much, but I think that those are some of the really amazing trends, and also finishing out the inside of cabinets instead of just the external. So I think that's really neat as well because you don't see it everywhere, and if you can do it and you execute it, it's like kind of amazing.
Nolyn, how about you?
I sit on two sides of the fence here, so
Is that painful?
yes, it is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I get that.
Yeah, back and forth. I like a very minimalistic, modern looking home. So I love to see the trends going more that way. Again, being in the Midwest, it takes a little bit longer for us to get those styles to come here. I really like doing that. But then also, the cool thing about Kansas City is that we have some really historic neighborhoods, and we've done some beautiful historic remodels for clients in the past. And I always enjoy doing everything from the trim work in those homes, the cabinetry in those homes, design those homes, and because we really try to make them true, to the feel of that historic time period, of those properties. And so I really like seeing our guys go in there and do the artisan work that it takes to make sure they trim it out. Back then the trim layer, they had layers in trim, which was I think very beautiful. And then when we put that final coat of paint on there, I think it just pops. So I love seeing the artisan part of that. But if I were to be building my own home, I would just do that minimalistic approach. So I like seeing both of them, which is a lot of fun in design that you can do so many different things here in the Kansas City market.
Absolutely. I want to go back to something that you touched on, finishing out the inside of cabinets. I feel like we didn't touch on that, and that's something super unique, especially with a few of the lines that we carry. Because I don't think many people think about that. I think they think of the outside and don't necessarily think about the inside. So let's speak a little bit more to that and some of those really cool, unique options that we offer for people to finish out in the inside.
I think it's stunning whenever you can open up a cabinet and there is something special there and something unique there. So whether that is that you chose to take a walnut inside, or if it's actually a fabric that you can use inside, or a really high-end laminate. I think sometimes people think laminate and it's like the old school 1980s laminate, but they're durable, they're beautiful. It's like spending a whole bunch of money on a high-end purse and then getting to customize the inside of the purse.
That's exactly
what it is.
Exactly where I was going with
right?
purses,
No, but
yeah.
it is. I mean, so many times we're used to opening a cabinet and it's the maple interiors, and it's nice, but we can do more. And so I think it's just a little something extra special. And when people are building these really nice homes, I mean, that's the level of care that we try to take into every single decision. In detail. And I also love water features. So
the way she looked at me, I also love, and I was like, "Oh, it's me."
Water features.
Not
I
you
think
at all.
that I'm
Not you
excited
at all.
about a big reveal there. So
Water
I'm not
features?
the water
Some
features.
cool water features we have coming up.
Yeah,
in
I think that's
properties.
going to be really cool. I don't want to spoil it, but
I have to ask you, since you did mention laminate, I feel like in the US, maybe the Midwest particularly, laminate can sometimes have an interesting rap. People are a little bit hesitant
negative connotation
about it.
for sure.
So explain to us the difference of using it in a cabinet and why it is much better and higher quality than just finishing out with.
Well, I think it's a great
info?
question. First of all, technology has advanced so much. So what you saw in the 80s versus what you're seeing now is completely different. Believe it or not, the most expensive cabinets in the entire world, their standard interior finish is laminate. So
Why is that?
They are high quality, exceptionally durable. If you spill water or juice or whatever it might be, it's not going to tear it up. Beer. Wine, doesn't matter. You're not going to have water damage. What's in there? Yeah.
Do you drink? You're cool.
You're cool. So, beautiful, and it's
Durable.
really durable.
Yeah.
Exceptionally durable. So, yeah, that's kind of the difference of how it was before versus now. It's not going to delaminate, like come apart in different sheets.
The way it's applied, the corners,
I
all
love
that.
how you
it takes
mentioned
it-
that, in the 80s, you remember how that happened.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
remember that.
I'm like, do you remember? And you're like, no, I was not alive.
I wasn't there yet.
I was not
I know exactly what you
alive.
guys are talking about. So has that been something with that laminate going in the inside and explaining that to people in our market? Has that been kind of like a learning curve with some people and
Huge.
working
Oh,
with
absolutely.
others?
There's, everything from what we were speaking about earlier, the fact that our cabinetry, is built in a factory and they're in controlled environments. They're not brought to your home. They're not, they're not finished in your home. That's been a learning curve for a lot of people. And like you said, the interior finishes, anytime we bring something new to the market, a lot of people want to do how they used to do it. And, these products are beautiful.
Well, that's one of the reasons that we have the MP360 showroom, because kind of giving lip service and saying, oh, these things are great. Everybody can do that. You can go out there and talk about these things. But the reason that we put this in place is because we wanted people to come and see it and experience it. Because whenever you can touch and see it and feel it, it means something. So we were able to bring that to life here. And that's really what we want to share with the Kansas City market is like, let's not limit ourselves, so that's really exciting to us and really why we put this space into place and really.
Unfortunately, it's only finished stuff that you can really see. And a lot of people care about that, but for me on the building side, it goes a lot deeper into. I think building science has become a really big thing.
Huge.
And so that's something else, on this new home that we're very excited about. It's everything from the foundation up, to how you insulate your home, the proper insulation, the proper, vapor barriers, the proper water deterrent to get water away from the foundation. It's, all those things go into
the windows, what you choose there.
Yeah, it all goes into building a great home, not just kind of slapping it together. And so those unfortunately are things that you can't always take somebody out and show them, especially if you have a finished product. But hopefully they will see the care and love that we put into this place, and will understand that when we're doing that for them on their home, that same care is taken. And we try to explain it, but sometimes it only goes so far. We're right next to the Show Me State, so we kind of just have to show our clients what we do. So
Yeah,
Absolutely. And I feel like nobody understands it until they're really in it, So what's one thing that you wish every future homeowner, would you like them to know about building a custom home?
it's a big question.
I would
Think
say
about
is make sure that you pick a team that you really trust, because it is a big process. It's a big process.
It is a big
No, I know,
Yeah.
but I was
Big
saying
investment.
pick a right team.
Oh yeah,
Be on the right
it's
team.
so important,
Yeah.
to make sure that you are looking at the work that they've done and that you like their personalities and that you trust them, because it's a partnership. It's a relationship. I just told you, if you are building a large scale home, you're with that person for 3 years. You want to like the people that you're dealing with every day. I think that's huge.
That's true. Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add to that? Any misconceptions that you feel people have about building custom homes or building homes in general?
Oh,
I do think
that's
a
a
lot of
whole nother episode.
Yeah, that is a whole nother episode. I do feel like a lot of people just kind of jump into the flashy, and they don't do their due diligence on a builder up front. And so I've just heard a lot of horror stories out there. I hope we're completely different, in our company. We all value what we do. Again, there's a lot of great builders out there. Echoing what Shannon said, just pick the right builder. Don't just jump into it. Make sure that you kind of go into it a little educated. Really helps. So,
I mean, I think a big misconception about remodeling, new build, anything that's unique, anything that's truly custom, that's one of a kind, is no matter how much you plan and no matter how great your team is, there's going to be bumps. And that's okay.
it is
There's
the most
always-
organized chaos.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, building is a calling. It is not just like something you do, because it is tough. I mean, there's a lot of emotion. That's the biggest thing. There's a ton of emotion, and for us, every client has a different personality, and so we try to manage that all the way through the project and try to help them. And but yeah, it's very emotional. It's not easy. And it's not like, now you're framing. Okay, now you're doing electrical. Now you're doing plumbing. It's not that easy.
It's not HGTV. It doesn't happen overnight.
Oh,
It
definitely
is a
not.
process. There are things that are going to come up, and if you're working with the right team, you can get through it. It's I'm not going to say it's not a big deal, but it's not a big deal because we've run into everything before, and there's always solutions. But I think it's important to have.
Don't say we've run into it because something else.
That's
is gonna
right.
get
That's
new
true.
things,
As
like
soon as I say that, we're gonna
Your phone's
something new.
dig
Yeah,
for a
like,
new house. There's
damn.
going to be a volcano there or something.
Right.
But I'm just saying, just being solution oriented and working with those type of people, I think is really important. But it's not always just smooth sailing. And again, that's why it's important to pick a team that you really want to work with and that you trust. So.
Well, absolutely. And you brought up, it absolutely not being smooth sailing. What is probably the biggest pain point or maybe the biggest problem that you guys had to solve during a project that maybe pivoted you to some sort of growth?
Money.
Something like that.
Yeah. Lack
Everybody's
of.
We need more
problem.
money. No.
Lack of manner for me. Maybe something different for you.
Yeah, we had a
That was a
amazing
unique
house.
project.
That was a crazy project.
Give us some insight.
It was a house that I think we always talk about it. The home went to a great client. We actually started this house, and they ended up purchasing it at the end of the project.
In COVID.
Yeah,
We started it, in 2019,
Yeah.
and we sold it to them in 2020. Yeah.
it was in old part of Leewood. It should have been probably. It's almost like a new build. You would never know it's the same house.
Well, that's one of those learning lessons that you were like, "Hey, what did you learn?" I'm like, "Should have just torn the house
tore it-
down
just
and
tore the
built
house
from
down."
scratch.
Yeah.
Would have been easier."
What I learned from that project was do not build a wine cellar to a family that doesn't drink.
It is
It was the funniest thing that they built this amazing, beautiful
biggest wine cellar ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the whole room was dedicated to
and
it.
I was there. I
Full
had
room.
like cameras for several days, setting up the movie and creating, showing the whole work, how it's
time-lapse.
done, time lapse, everything was like it was amazing. We were like even finished, having a drink at the end, and then comes up people that they love the home. And they purchased it. And the funniest thing about this was a month later, I don't remember there was something they called us. There was something that had to be fixed.
Yeah, adjusted. fixed,
Adjusted.
whatever, yeah.
And Nolyn goes, he gives me a call. He's like, "You're not going to believe it." I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "The beautiful wine cellar." Yeah. They
He has his Peloton in it.
They created a gym,
gym.
workout,
It's a gym.
workout room from it. They were like, no. So yeah,
And
it was-
it's amazing. He literally just works out there, and he's like, "I think it's a piece of art. I absolutely love it. I love working out here." He thinks that
We had empty wine bottles in it, so he's just looking at empty wine bottles, like on his Peloton, doing his thing.
He absolutely loves that room. He loves working out in it. Fantastic guy. Him and his wife. It went to a great couple.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, we really put this around that somebody's gonna love this room.
Yeah.
And it turned into his gym, and I'm like,
So that's why we do custom.
That's right.
exactly right.
pretty much.
But this
So-
was a house that was 7-foot ceilings. So we took off the top of the house because it was a ranch, made it into 10-foot ceilings, and then went up a second story.
Yeah. So,
And then it just rained and rained and rained and rained. We were trying to put on the roof. So it was just
we ended up with a pool in the
difficult.
basement. So,
But it's amazing now. It's an amazing house.
Yeah,
It is a beautiful home.
You got to go through the worst stuff to get to the best stuff.
100%.
It makes
100%.
everything else.
Yep.
Look at you
so
now.
much
Look
sweeter.
at where we are.
How do you like me now?
Speaking of where we are, if people wanted to come visit us, maybe get some inspiration, see what's possible, where can they find us?
I'll take over this.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not just people. We talked how we
It's not just
created.
people, it's minions.
We created this.
Dogs
True, minions.
Animals.
But when we came up with this gallery showroom, the idea was really not just for us, but to open this to outside designers. So when you're asking, where can they find us? I really want people to understand that we would love designers to come and utilize this space as their own space, their own office, or they can bring their own clients, show them different things, because there's always so many different details that people like to see when you're remodeling, building new, trying to do something. You really, really want to touch and open up and see how you feel in that environment. So we really encourage, and we talked, obviously, all designers, we already had a lot of them come and be here and feel really like at home. Obviously, they would talk to you, schedule a time. This would be closed in just for them and be very, very private. Our showroom is in Olathe. Address is 15080 West 116th Street. You can
That's
also
15080 116th Street. Just translating for you.
because of my
Because he's
language,
foreign.
English.
Because of the foreigner.
True. You can also check our social media website. Our website is MP360, MP-360, right? I messed that up
Nope,
completely.
we're okay. We're
Yeah.
good. Our social media too. We have 2 accounts.
Okay.
So for also some people who don't know, we did have a website of Luho Cabinetry. We have now changed that name to MP360 Cabinetry. So we have an MP360 Design and Build Instagram and Facebook account, an MP360 Cabinetry Facebook and Instagram account, and then our websites. And I think that's kind of about it.
And the most important is MP360. Very nice.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so on that note, we're gonna wrap it up. But I just wanted to thank you guys. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode, one of the most interesting dynamics.
True. You gotta tell us about you. Why
No,
are you
no,
doing
no.
this?
Vladimir actually used to be my soccer coach when I was younger.
We saw pictures of you when you were younger.
Maybe we should put that on. So
Yeah, I
we
think
can
Yes.
I
you
mean,
should.
how
yes.
old are you? Like 8?
I'm going
No,
like this.
she was
I'm going like this, like I
literally
stuck her in my,
8
like,
years
my
old.
pocket
So
or
I
something.
have to attribute today
Full
to
circle moment.
being a truly full circle moment, but it would not have been possible without them in my corner and truly supporting me throughout everything that I do and just really believing in me to bring me onto your team. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and even I'll add, the craziest thing is I was on an airplane and I was texting with Shannon and we were really talking marketing and we were discussing what's our next step, who are we, trying to hire, what are we trying to do, and I literally walked out of the airport and Paige was there and I haven't seen her for I
I
don't
may
know
or
how many
may
years.
not have been waiting on a shuttle for one person to get on.
True. She was in the
Won't name
shuttle.
names.
They were all waiting for me for like 15, 20 minutes, maybe even longer. So I was almost like embarrassed, like coming in. And then I was like, oh, Paige. So we start talking. What are you doing? She's in trying to explore real estate. And I was like, okay, here's our card. But, let me know if
Just
you're
graduated
interested.
with a marketing
Yeah,
degree.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then it
So
just kind of
a
went from
couple of
there.
months
Kind of went from
later,
there.
we connected again. And here you go. So yeah, it is a full circle.
Very full
It's
circle moment.
pretty cool.
Yeah, but I appreciate you guys and thank you for believing in me and I'm just so excited to see where this all goes. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
congratulations to you guys too.
Thanks, Paige.
Cheers. I don't know
Cheers. Well, you have one.
There you go.
There you go.
Cheers.
There
No
you
one's
go.
got two.
Cheers.
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 Woohoo!